good to meet again on this Infinity session. So, yeah, thank you, first of all, for spending your time, taking out time for this session and joining us. Then we'll get into the conversation of Infinity. As always, we will get to know a lot more about Naman and his journey, his meditation practices, and his spiritual path, how it's going. Let's begin the conversation of the Infinity session with Naman Pant. Naman is, he's a long time meditator, an entrepreneur, and he's heading the international wing of PIMA. PIMA is the youth wing of PSSM. So he's heading the international wing of the PIMA. So very happy to have you on board, Naman. Hi.
Hi, Prithvi. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. It's been a long day, Sunday, but thank you so much. Like I saw a lot of people join, so thank you for taking our time on a Sunday.
Yeah, it's a Sunday evening, and people are choosing to, spend their time with us, and that's really a great thing. So thank you, friends. Yes. So, Naman, this session is all about you. So we want to know a lot more about you and your spiritual journey. So to start off with, please tell us a little, because in your bio also you just gave us 3 lines, nothing more. So please tell us more about your childhood. Like, where are you from,
Sure.
and what's your
So,
education background?
okay. My father, he, like, along with his brother, they all lived in Uttarakhand. A lot, like some of you might know, this is a place called Pithoragarh. It's nearby. There are a lot of temples, a lot of energy places in Uttarakhand. But in 80s, he traveled, like he moved from Uttarakhand to a place called Faridabad, which is the NCR. And all four brothers, they set up a new base in a new city in the 80s. And early childhood, I've always been, like I would say, I was lucky to have parents who were disciplined and religious in nature. That house was, we had no onion, no garlic since I was a kid. And father also used to get up early morning, did do his puja, and that kind of culture was like every day, like a normal thing for me. So, and this I did not really, I did not really paid a lot of attention to, because it was so common for me, saying that you get up early, you do your morning rituals, and you start off your day. Later on in life, now that I look back, I mean, it was a huge, positive uh, thing that my parents did, that they inculcated the same discipline of sorts. And yeah, so I had a fairly decent childhood. My father, like, I was never a type of child who would study, or who would sit in one place, like always two three things at one point. And like a kid who would do, like, he's there also, there also, there also, like, I was very the challenge, like I saw that in my exams. Till 8th class, I was below average student, where I graduated classes because I used to get good grace marks from teacher. And like, just for the hope that he will do well, they used to put me in the other, like, they promote me to other class. But my life changed when my father, he decided to say that like, he's not going to invest in my education. That, yeah, so my real life changed when my father, he put his foot down and said he was not going to fund my education anymore. And he really meant it. Like, he threw my books away. And there was, like, that day I can pinpoint and say that that day I actually I started taking studies more seriously. So yeah, so in 10th class, I barely graduated again. I still remember I got 68 out of 100, the cumulative percentage, which was very, very low in my class. And My father, when we went for school, also he picked the worst possible school that I could get, because he said I'm not going to invest. But there was something like the principal of that school was very highly motivated for me to, she picked me up as a project and said that you don't realize what kind of boy you have here. And she's the one who literally, I still remember, Manorma ma'am spent 2.5 hours just to convince my parents of why I should get non-medical and not commerce without mathematics that my father originally wanted. He said, just give him a couple of subjects that you think can be done, and off he goes, spend his 2 years, and whatever he has to do in his life, he will do. And she said that he should get physics, chemistry, maths, and and other subjects. And my father said, "You're just wasting your efforts." But nonetheless, I ended up taking non-medical, PCM primarily, and my life actually started, like, I can clearly see the trajectory of my life. It was going upward after I went to my 11th class. And it so happened that she took another gamble. First gamble was that she got me to, study difficult subjects. Second gamble that she took was she enrolled me in a coaching class called Vidyamandir PMC. So she said, I'm going to pay the tuition for this. And 11th class, I was enrolled in the evening school of Vidyamandir classes. And she said that you have to, put the effort, because I'm taking all the risk. You are not taking any risk. But you have to put in the effort. And she came up with a lot of, I would say, techniques that she would implement in me. So she used to call me 8 o'clock in the morning, and I used to be in the school till 9 p.m. at night. First you attend the normal school, then you attend the evening school, then she herself used to stay back. We were like a batch of 20 students. And she used to stay with us, and she used to take our exam every day, that whatever we studied through the day, in the evening she used to give us questions that we had to solve in order to complete the day. And there were some ups, there were some downs, but eventually I got hold of the process that she was trying to implement. And turns out that in 11th class I scored 72%, which was one of the rank holding. This thing was there in 11th at that point, and this is way back in 2009. So, oh, sorry, 2007. So yeah, so that's what I started. 11th, then 12th I did very well, where I ended up getting I think 81% in my 12th class, which was really not a common trait, because every time you meet somebody, if you ask their 10th and 12th exams, 10th they will get a lot of big marks, 12th they will get relatively less, right? With me it was opposite. With me they were they asked, but like I got very less in 10th and good marks in 12th. So yeah, so and I eventually got into a decent college. It's called Bits Pilani in Rajasthan, and you will be surprised that all 20 of us, few of them got into IIT, few of them, but everyone cracked a tier 1 college. So somebody went to IIFC, somebody went to ISM Thanbad, somebody went to BHU, somebody went to IIIT, somebody went to another college, but everybody cracked the tier 1 college, and we all were placed in a decent college. And I think I was the first one in my school to crack Bits Pilani in the history of the school. So like that, I mean, I would say my childhood, if I squeeze in a nutshell, was I was really blessed with my parents, the values that they built over the time that now I'm reaping the benefits. Second was teacher. The teachers that I attracted ended up who understood me on a human level, and they were the ones who did the work to bring out the potential, I would say. Like it might take 2 years for them, but really I now understand whatever what sort of life now I have. I clearly can correlate with what sort of values that these guys were inculcating when I was growing up. In college, I'll just sum it up. In college, my life was totally like this. I can literally say the college life was just an integration of everything that I learned in the past 12 years of my life. Not focusing on the kindergarten stuff, but from first class to 12th class, I was able to integrate all the learnings that I have had in the this thing, and I used it for my college. So I would say that, and then the compounding effect starts. So I really enjoyed my thoroughly learned, grew, made friends that I still have. Like I still have those friend network in my life. But all of that, I could say that was an integration of what I would become eventually. So yeah, so this is
Wow, that's really wonderful. Like, being a below average student and then improving because a teacher takes a commitment to improve and you get into a bits Pilani, that's really a very transformative journey. That's very fantastic. And it also shows your commitment to really improve in your education. Fantastic. So, Naman, when did meditation come to you?
right. So I did my graduation in 2012. Then for a brief period of time, I was in US. I was working with Schlumberger, and they posted me in a place called Port Arthur in Texas. Port Arthur is a very quiet town, right? But there they literally eat whatever is walking, like that kind of image I had, like a redneck Texas sort. And where I was living, like I could not settle in that town for a long time, so I requested my father to come back. Meditation, jumping to the point, so 2016, meditation has always been there, not from spiritual angle but from a religion angle, where my father used to would do puja with me, teach me the essence of what we are doing, why we are doing what we are doing, all that. But I accidentally met Patri sir in 2016, and I did not even know that he's a spiritual guru. A friend of mine, let's go to an event where we have it's a session you will enjoy. Karke, she took me to that event, and I genuinely thought that I'm going to an event, right? And when I entered the auditorium, everybody is sitting with their eyes closed, and the hands were crossed and feet were crossed, and Patri sir was there on stage. He was playing the flute, and I thought to myself, I was like, if he's playing there, how disrespectful are everyone that they are closing their eyes and not even giving Patri sir the attention that because in my head, that's how you attend the concert. Because so long story short, so Nalini ma'am, she asked me to meditate. She taught me how to meditate. She taught me then and there how to meditate, and I sat for some time, and then Patri sir's the flute, the session was over, and everybody started running behind him, and I also ran because I wanted to greet him, right? And you also like pay your gratitude, right, to the artist after the event. So I was just mood of saying that he played flute for 1 hour, and let me just go and give my gratitude, is saying thank you so much, sir. And so there was a huge line. He's sitting on the front with two chairs, one chair in front of him, and everybody's sitting, saying whatever they're talking and moving on. My turn came, I sat, and I said, thank you so much for your music, sir. I really enjoyed your session, this, that, everything. And he was very quiet, and he kept looking into my eyes, and he's staring and staring and staring for 10 minutes. He did not speak a single word, and he's staring. And I got uncomfortable, and I was like, should I stay or should I leave? Just like I was thinking, what should I do in this situation? And suddenly he started yelling at me on the top of his lungs, and said all sorts of things that he would not know. And one thing that, like, towards the end, after all the yelling, after saying, like, he said, you're living wrong, you're eating wrong, you're reading wrong. Three things he said. Living wrong, I could not understand. Eating wrong, I immediately understood what he meant. Reading wrong, again, I could not understand. But he said, your whole life is in the wrong direction. You're doing nothing in your life. You're meant to, your life has no purpose. There's that, everything he said. And then he yelled three questions, and he said, just, buzz off from my face. And Nalini ma'am was very proud, and, she was very proud of that. She like I was with her. She immediately got disappeared, and I could not find her. And it turns out everybody behind me they started running away from sir because they all got scared. And I'm thinking to myself, like I'm not going to see his face ever. And that is the first. And same day, then Nalini ma'am then again came and said, you had a long day. I have a party in the evening with the family. Join us for the party, and you'll meet more people there. And I said, okay, I'll come with you. So turns out that house is the person, like the family is also pyramid masters, and they are hosting sir in the evening for dinner, and they are all meeting because there is a dinner party for sir, and I'm again in that party. And I was unaware that sir is going to come, and the moment he came and I started running around the house, making sure that he doesn't see me. There is no other embarrassing moment for me, because in the hall you can run away because you have hundreds of people, right? But if in the house you have 20-25 people and they all know you and you can't really run away, so it's quite embarrassing for, like, in my head. So the moment sir, in whichever room sir was, I used to be in the other room hiding from him. So yeah, survived that. Met my future wife in that house in that evening. um, yeah, I mean, so that was my first interaction and my first purely spiritual meditation session that I did with sir. Fast forward to another 2 years, I went to my first Vipassana session where I attended the entire 10 days, and I think that was really transformative for me, because first time in my life I closed my eyes and I was really doing meditation from morning 4 to evening 9, with no distraction, no cell phone, no books, nothing, like absolutely zed. And that was the time I think I really got in, like I accepted meditation as my way of life, because there was a lot of unanswered question in my head when I was a kid, right? But when I grew up, I really found the difference between what how I want to go further versus what I've been doing, like the gap between the realization and the expectation. So yeah, so once I have the realization, I understood that okay, this is something that I'm going to continue. And since then, I did another two times. I did Vipassana again after the first time. And 2019, I met my future wife, and like her way of she is a Patrisa student, and she is in meditation, and I got introduced to pyramids because she has a pyramid on her house, on the roof. So that she because of her I started meditating inside a pyramid. And once I meditated inside a pyramid, I really understood, and I really was motivated, I would say, to continue this way of life. But yeah, so because of Patrisa, I got nudged into meditation, spirituality and meditation. And because of Vipassana, I started doing it. After I got into pyramid meditation, I really understood I wanted to do it as much as I can. Yeah.
When very fantastic. So, Naman, you talked about Patriji. He actually trapped you twice. You got trapped, and then that is when the meditation came into your life. But actual practice happened in the Vipassana. That's what you said, right? And then you are continuing in PSSM, working with the pyramid masters and all. So, I want to really understand what is the difference between PSSM and Vipassana.
Wow. Okay. So I've actually pondered about this quite a lot, but I've never shared my point of view. So Vipassana, when you do its first 2 days, you do Anapanasati meditation. So like, because people who are there who are doing Vipassana for the first time, Anapanasati is the perfect tool to calm somebody and center somebody, and make sure that everything is in line. Vipassana is, for me, what I did in Vipassana, it's not Vipassana, it's Vipassana. Vipassana ke andar, once you have your focus, once you have your concentration, you are guided to go from your head to your toe, and you are guided to observe whatever changes are going through the body, right? And they make you do it for 8 days. Some people have miraculous, I would say, experiences, like they have out of body experiences, they have certain experiences that they can't define it in the first go. um, with me, I didn't really had a out of body experience or any experience of sort. I just sat, he said, Goenka ji said from tape, he said, take your awareness to your head. I took my awareness to my head. He said to take it to your toes. I took it to my toes. Right. I was the perfect, I would say, student and following every command that the Guru gave. But when I did meditation inside a pyramid, which is PSSM's core, use that pyramids are the tools that you should use for your meditation. It amplified whatever I did in Vipassana. So, for example, if somebody says, I am able to have out of body experience, or I am feeling something here or here or here or there, pyramid really amplified. When I say amplified, it means that the stuff that I would do outside a pyramid for, let's say, 2 days, the same result I can achieve in one day inside the pyramid. Right. So when I did meditative Vipassana, I did it for 3 times, so like 30 days broke over, 3 years. The understanding that I had during then, the same amount of understanding I had in my first meditation session when I was doing inside the pyramid. I was able to feel the energy traveling from somewhere outside to my body, and this was a tangible experience that I was able to, even without awareness, I could see that I'm receiving something inside my body, right? With Vipassana, I never had that experience. This is me talking from a body perspective, that whatever changes I saw inside my body. Um, what happens in Vipassana, other, if I say from a spiritual experiences perspective, when I was doing my meditation, and Guruji says, take your awareness from your head to your shoulder, left shoulder. So when I'm taking that awareness, I was able to sense what is going on in my left shoulder, not to a granular level, that to a certain degree, but I was able to broadly say that, okay, I have a pain because my muscle is not this thing, or maybe I slept wrong, right? I don't know, but my pain is there, and I was able to say that, okay, pain, now you can go, and the pain went. That is my experience in Vipassana. But when I do my meditation inside the pyramid, I can simply put a pyramid here, I can meditate, and say same result without 10 days of effort, for me. So that's one of the experiential difference, I would say, that I was able to see, that if I use pyramid, it is more of a tool to amplify my meditation practice. When I say amplify, it means give me bigger results in a short span of time, compared to what if I do Vipassana, which is a 10-day rigorous exercise that you have to do, or a 2-day or a 3-day that they have. You have to attend all those things. You can't just say in one day, okay, I'm now sorted. I got what I came for, and I can. That's like not going to happen. But for pyramid, it's more like a tool that I can use. I can carry with me. I can, be inside the pyramid. I can have small pyramids. I can have big pyramids. I can have like there are a lot of tools that you can mix and match, and use it for your own advantage. This is from the experience of the body. So now, and if I talk about spiritual, like from an intellectual perspective, Vipassana is like Kayopasana, Vipassana. There are certain levels, right? I don't have them on my fingertips, I'm sorry, but I still believe that Vipassana is just one of the levels of the meditational experience that you have. But if you are not bound by these levels, and you are just going inside a pyramid and meditating, you can go beyond a point where Vipassana ends. and this is purely from an intellectual perspective. Maybe Prithvi, you can just put some words to this and verify what I'm saying. But if I'm doing a pyramid meditation, if I'm doing a meditation inside a pyramid, there is a high chance that I can go beyond vipassana, and or I can go under. I can stick to kayapasana, or I can go beyond vipassana. There is no fixed. There is no fixed strategy or the fixed jump that you can make. You can go anywhere, right? Depends on your purely your understanding and your awareness level and your dedication. But if you are there in vipassana, you go to anapanasati, then you go to kayapasana, then you go to vipassana, then you go to this, then you go to that, and that's the level. I mean, that's why from intellectual perspective, this is what I feel that it is. Yeah.
Yes, very true. The way you put it together, it's really very interesting to understand how these two things are very different. But from the organization perspective, like how PSSM and Vipassana are different, this is my perspective where I feel Patriji actually advertised meditation. He spread the word of meditation and he took meditation through PSSM to lot many people, but in Vipassana, people actually sit and meditate. That's a dedicated time where they take out for their self and sit for 10 full days for doing meditation. So this is the major difference that I look into. But coming to the experiential perspective, yes, as you said in Vipassana, there is no word like soul is used. Buddha talks about, whatever is in your experience, that is the truth. So whatever is not in your experience is not the truth. But here we go beyond all those things, right? So we also look into the impermanent things and we go with that experiences.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
There is one thing, like there is energy that the matter that you focus, there is ether that you focus, right? Matter is whatever you can see. You understand that this is temporary, this is impermanent, this is not going to work, this is not going to do all that stuff that happens. When there is ether, there is sound that comes out without two objects striking, for example. I can't think of a sound that comes without two, like this, the clapping that you hear. It is two objects that are colliding, but there are sounds that come up where two objects, they don't collide. So that, I mean, yeah, so the ether is one, and energy matter is one. So yeah.
Yes. So it's very clear about these two practices and organizations. And yes, Naman, you have been, taking the Paima into the international levels, taking it global. It's the youth wing. So how do you think the youth is open for meditation right now?
Wow. Okay. So I've been a volunteer for Paima since I think Patri sir wanted me, and became inactive, then became active, then became inactive. So, but what I really believed when sir, first asked me for the for working in making sure that the concept for Paima goes out, uh, there are multiple facets to it, right? Youth as an age group is a very amiable age group where they are open to a lot of changes, and they don't really understand if the change is going to be good or right. I mean, it's still difficult to know going forward, but at this age they are more adaptable to ideas than they anticipate. And imagine, like, imagine youth is like water, right? It doesn't matter on the ground. If you spray the water, the mango tree will also grow and the weeds will also grow, right? And there is no way of saying that, oh, I will only help the mango tree grow. You can't do that. If you're on the ground, whatever is on the ground is going to grow. So Paima for me was a platform that Paima is a platform that sows the right seeds. So when the water is put on the ground, there are a lot of mango trees than wild grass. And with that, because the sole idea was, if we can take meditation to the youth, if we can make sure that people who are young they start accepting, they start meditating. So when they come of age where they have to take the decision because of meditation, they are able to understand, they are able to decide, they are able to be more careful with their thinking. Because what really happens when you meditate, right? Like, let me just put 2 minutes. When you close your eyes, when you cross your hands, when you cross your legs, what happens? 80% of your energy is restored when you close your eyes, right? A lot of people don't know this, but when you close your eyes are not directly connected to your brain. Your eyes are directly connected to the nervous system that goes through the body, and that through the body it goes to the brain, right? So when you see something, so when I see you, Prithvi, who's wearing a green top, the green energy, this comprehending is not going directly to my brain. It is going inside my body, traveling through the nervous system and going towards my brain. So that's where the 80% energy is utilized, right? But when I close my eyes, I can't see where is Prithvi, where is this computer, where is it? I can't see anything. So I save that energy. When I cross my hand, 10% energy gets saved. When I cross my legs, 10% of that energy, because I can't move around, I can't touch around, I can't see anything. When you are young in our lives, we don't have a lot of experiences to judge ourselves from, or we don't have a lot of filters in our head. So what happens when you close your eyes and hands and legs? You can't touch anything, go anywhere, or see anything. So, but the brain is still working, right? So the brain is not stopped working. So now what happens when I do this mudra where I'm sitting comfortably, the brain is still working. So now instead of going outside, the brain will go in the subconscious brain, right? The consciousness will go into subconscious brain. And subconscious, being a creature of habit, it will unearth a lot of memories, unearth a lot of bad habits, and you are able to see yourself. And then what happens? I won't go into a lot of detail in this question, but what happens is once you are aware of yourself and when you are young, right? This takes you further in your life where you are more clear to all the changes that are happening. You are, to a certain degree, you can really see what is good or bad, what is good or bad for you. And I think that's where the Paima as an organization for me made a lot of, got me a lot of energy, gave me a lot of energy, because I am able to now convey this truth to people who are young, and they are the future of our world, right? They are going to lead the world in, let's say, 5-10 years, and they are going to lead it for a long time. So I think that's where that energy of getting youth to meditate together and making sure that they are well aware of themselves before they actually go out in the world, I think made, like, it makes a lot of difference, and I'm really lucky that I'm a part of it. Yeah.
Yes, that's really wonderful. And attracting youngsters into meditation itself is a quite challenging stuff. And you are leading the international wing of Paima, and I really want to understand what is the approach that you are taking forward for approaching or attracting the Western minds, because attracting the Indian youth is different, but bringing the Western minds into meditation needs a different kind of approach, right? So, what is the approach that you are doing with?
Right. So thankfully, we have a lot of masters who are there outside India, and I am in constant touch. I keep talking to Pari. I keep talking to a lot of other masters who are there. Himashri is there in UK, and the whole idea was that you can't have the same strategies that you are executing in India that you can apply to outside, because the value system is different. In India, there is a common culture of you living with your parents in a certain settings, which is very like widely accepted in India, and none of you have to think. But outside, it might seem a lot different to somebody who is not accustomed to the Indian culture. So our idea was, how can you create an infrastructure that attracts youth without, I would say, challenging their belief system, right? Because humans by default, they become very uh, I would say they become very defensive when you go after their value system, because they've seen this since they were born, and there is a certain acceptance to that set of values. So for us, we decided that, okay, we have, and for us, the best part is our breath is our guru. We don't have to worry about anything else. There is no Babaji concept. There is no Bhagwan concept. Uh, Whoever breathes can just do the simple exercise and just rebrand the entire process of saying that, hey, you know what? This is not meditation. This is just a relaxation exercise that you can do in order to calm your mind, right? And start explaining people like spiritual concepts from everyday life. So I still remember we did one post on thoughts where, and I'm a very enthusiastic about learning about thoughts and how it affects our body and mind. We said that, in a railway station, every train is like a thought, which comes and goes. And imagine this railway station has 60 to 70,000 trains in one day. And whichever train that you decide on, going, will take you from point A to point B. So you have to decide which train would you take in order to go from point A to point B. So, and then we segregated the type of trains into four aspects. We have negative, we have positive, negative, disastrous, and miraculous. Four types of trains, right? You want to go from point A to point B quickly, get on the miraculous train. You want to go, point B to point A, which is backward. You go to negative train, and so on and so forth. So for us, we realized that, when we explain this uh, fairly complex topics through everyday life, through everyday examples, and take meditation as a mindfulness tool or a relaxation tool rather than making more heavy with terms like spirituality and self-awareness and whatnot. I thought, and we saw a decent acceptance among young peers who were more inclined towards understanding, because they were able to relate to examples such as, if you're stressed in school, just meditate for 5 minutes while you're stuck in traffic, and it will be much beneficial for you. And whoever did it and they benefited, they came back and had, they were more interested to learn more, and so on and so forth. The train began for us. Yeah.
Yes. So, yes, as you said, keeping it simple and also looking at the value system they have and then strategizing accordingly, very important. And you said that we don't have any kind of gurus or spiritual practices which will actually be defensive for their value system. We use breath as our guru, and the person who gave that to us has been very practical and using common sense. That is Patriji. So, how do you think Patriji is different from all other spiritual masters?
Wow, I can go on for a long time. Right. So I was fairly new to PSSM, and I joined PSSM in 1920 or 2020, right, when COVID was just about to began. I've been fairly, on and off meditation, still skeptical at that point. Is my belief system already improved than what I'm about to adapt, or what are the pros and cons, and that all the left brain activities that you do before actually surrendering. So I went through that phase, and there are a lot of things about Patri sir that attracted me personally, uh, because my family. Okay, I'll tell you first. I'll start with my family. My father, he follows this yoga guru. Okay, Patanjali yoga, the Patanjali guru, right? Baba Ramdev. My sister, she follows Sri Ravi Shankar from Art of Living. My mother was, she followed our religious guru, Rajarajeshwaranandji Swami, right? He's the head of a mutt in Joshimath. He's the head of Joshimath, and my mother used to follow him. Uh, and being from Uttarakhand, I was, very well introduced, like very well accepted of Aghoris and this and that and whatnot. So my mother was from that background. My sister followed Sri Ravi Shankar. My father, he followed Ramdev Babaji. And I was lucky enough to meet all of them before I met Patri sir. So when I saw when I met all these three, they had one thing in common. They were working from the mindset of that there is a savior who is going to save you if you do this, And there was an image where people saw them as the representative of their savior, right? Uh, but when I met Patri sir, I started working, I started spending time with him. He himself he said something very, very interesting. He said, your breath is your own guru. There is no other guru in this world other than your breath. He said, you are a god. So kind of what everybody was asked, what focusing on centralizing, saying that come to this ashram and then only you can get benefited, follow the particular way, then only you can benefited, do this, then only you can get benefited, chant that, then you can then it will be beneficial for you. When everybody was going on and on and on and on about all of this, I met a man who said, whatever you know is fine, just start with one simple technique and see where it takes you. And then he would go on and suggest textbooks to you. Read this book, read this book. Instead of him going and saying that, hey, you know what? I've read these many thousand books. I know that much. I know this much. I know this. Instead of going around and sharing that concept like that, he shared a gist. He said, you want to learn more? Read this book. So the way Patri sir started decentralizing the knowledge, the process, right, where everybody else was centralizing the process, because I still remember my mother, she had her own chanting mantra that she got from her guru, and she said, "Ye har Guruji khud dete hai sabko." This was the statement. That Guruji himself gives this mantra, and everybody's mantra is different from the other, right? And I thought to myself, that means if everybody's mantra is different, that means the journey is different, the destination must be different. But at the end of the day, everybody focuses on getting more peaceful, getting more serenity, getting more, to a certain level enlightenment. And that really confused me. And then I've met somebody who comes to me and says, you know what? Whatever interests you, you learn that. Eventually, you will end up where you have to be. And to me, that was a very interesting thing where, this was one point that Patri sir had, where everybody, you were focusing on centralizing this one thing. He was focusing on decentralizing the spiritual concept. Second was the openness of the person. So I'll tell you one thing. So when in 2016, Patri sir, he told me 2-3 things that I know for a fact that nobody in the world knew. I thought to myself, I will take these my dirty secrets to my grave. And while yelling, he hinted on all those things. And that's one of the reasons why I really put my gears, I became more motivated that I have to understand how he got what he got. So he was the type of guy who would, his aura, you would know around him, you would know that he's not a man of he knows everything, he knows stuff karke, you would feel that he knows stuff. And when you're talking to him, of course, he would guide you in ways where you'll know at least a couple of years later on that, oh shit, this is what he meant. And, and to me, that knowledge that he had, and all the Gurujis that I've met, the knowledge that they have, there is a certain aura around them, and there is a different aura around him, where Patri sir, for me, is more like my friend. Like I'm talking to you, I used to speak with him like this, with Patri sir, And he used to speak like this to me, where I would call him and I say, hey, you know what? If you have zenith, if there is no end to the universe, then why are you even worrying about going through the experiences? You can have the same experience in a different earth, in a different dimension. Then why worry about all of this? Like, these are the type of discussions I used to have with him whenever I was able to get time with him. And like, there was no such like, he was available for the for the masses. He would go around, shake hands with everyone. There's a different aura to that. So first was that he decentralized spirituality for everyone. Second was he was available for everyone. you know there was no such thing as saying, you can't talk to him. If he's there, you can talk to him. Third is, he was focusing on the all around benefit of everyone. He didn't say, he focused on your swadhyay books that you're reading. He focused on the food that you're eating. He's focused on the meditation, that how you're doing it. He's focused on the lifestyle. And at no certain point did he come and say that you can't do this. He said there are certain principles. One of the learnings, one of the quote that he said, in the matter of opinion, flow like a river. In the matter of principle, stand like a mountain. He said, whatever is opinion to you, like 18 principles, you eat pure veg food, you don't wear any clothing that represent any religion, you play and you live like all that thing. These are the principle. In that case, you stand like a mountain. But what type of color will you wear today? This is an opinion. So you flow like a river. What kind of food you want, as long as that is pure veg, non-garlic food, I can eat anything. I will flow like a river as long as my principle is met. So he focused on the all-round development of humanity. I mean, yeah, so these are the top three things in my mind that I could think of. Yeah.
So thank you. Thank you so much for actually speaking so in detail about these three aspects, because most of us, I think, especially the young generation, is connected to Patriji because of this concept, no guru, no disciple. Because we don't want to surrender without believing or having a disbelief also. So that concept itself actually connects us to this person. And second thing, the openness, the friendship. That is why we actually see him like a Maitreya Buddha, right?
Right.
So the friendship and also the principles, the 18 guiding principles that he has given us is what we are taking to the world today. So thank you so much for talking about it in detail. And so Naman, finally coming to your current project, we got to know that you are working on a pyramid in Delhi. Is that so?
Right. Yeah.
So please tell us a little bit about that.
So the pyramid. Uh, okay. So there was a time when I was meditating during COVID time, and I had this experience. It's a very tangible experience where I personally was transported to a campus of sorts, where I was able to touch the leaves, walk on the road, to see what's going around in my head. And I really thought to myself, what is this? I got confused because this is not the type of thing that I would usually think. I'm neither a architect or a civil engineer, or buildings was something that would not come to me because I don't even read about architecture, right? At least at that point. So I called Patri sir, and luckily Alekhya was there. I called him. I spoke to sir and I said that, hey, you know what? This is something that I saw in my meditation. I'm not sure what it is, but I would trust your judgment if you can tell me what it is. So he said, see, this is the concept that you are going to be responsible for and you should be focused on doing. I said, okay, theek hai. So I called my friend who is an architect, and we sat and we created a very dummy diagram of what I saw in my meditation. And luckily, I was able to send it to Alekhya in time. And she showed it to Patri sir. And he called me immediately and he said, Naman, this is the future pyramid valley in Delhi. And this is your responsibility. This is your project. You take it up, bola. So I said, okay, I will see what I can do, And so I started becoming more And because of Chandra sir, I started thinking more towards this project from a very serious angle. And to me, how I see it is, we have pyramids in a lot of places now, but to be able to say that we have a pyramid valley in one of the in capitals of the country, you know that is something that gave me a lot of confidence. And it gave me a lot of ideas as well, saying that you have to build a campus that you can say that is there in Delhi, because Delhi sees a lot of traffic because of being capital. A lot of people land in Delhi and go around the country, right? And so that's where I thought I came in and I said that, hey, you know what? We are going to construct the first pyramid valley in the national capital in the world. And this was my first thought. My second thought was, a lot of times what I've seen is, let's say, the Heartfulness Institute, right? The Heartfulness Institute, Daji was not the first guru of Heartfulness Institute, right? Daji's guru, his guru, like I think he's fourth in line or fifth in line. I'll have to check. But he's not the first guru of Heartfulness, Daji. So hua kya? Because of all the campuses all the infrastructure that they have, Daji was able to create more on top of what was existing, right? And he was able to create the Heartfulness Institute in Hyderabad, which is the biggest meditation center in country, and I think in Asia also, if I'm not wrong, right? So he was able to pull that off just because he had the infrastructure and he had the vision, right? Now, Patri sir has asked me to take care of the infrastructure. Okay. I don't know who the Daji is, right? But I sure as well know that if I create an infrastructure that can last a lifetime, I sure can have somebody who can use this infrastructure to take his word forward, Patri sir's word, right? So now the whole idea was that, and Igatpuri, because of Vipassana, I went to Igatpuri. I became interested after that call with Patri sir. I became interested in learning about architecture. So I started, reading books. I started talking to architects, all my friends. And when I went to Igatpuri to see the campus and do the Vipassana session there, I realized that they made the center while keeping in mind that the center should last 1000 years. So when they created the Igatpuri center, they had this objective in mind that this center should last 1000 years. So similarly, taking that inspiration, I realized that whatever we are constructing, it has to be a minimum of 100 or 500 years, 1000 years, so that it lasts the time. And I don't know, I'm still, this is just one of my thoughts, that after you and I are long gone, we'll have somebody who will use the infrastructure to meditate, to spread mindfulness, and to use it for the benefit of the humanity. So the idea behind this, the valley was very simple, saying that, hey, you know what, we want to create a pyramid. But as and when I started doing more research, I started talking to people, I started, understanding, taking reviews. A lot of people started calling me. I realized that this is way bigger than what we have thought. So these are the three things, Prithvi. First is the center will serve as the world capital's first pyramid valley. Second is, should be able to take Patri sir's word. Third is, should be able to last that lifetime, our lifetime at least. So
Wonderful. Yeah. Wonderful. I mean, that's the vision for the next generations and generations to come. That is what we are keeping in mind and working for the pyramids. And there is another person, Omega, who is working for Omega Pyramids, and he is the sponsor of this program. So I request Sharma sir to come on the call and ask or talk about the pyramid that is coming up in Dallas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Prithvi. Hi, Naman.
Hi, sir.
Yeah. So your session is so good. You made everybody laugh very hard today. So Prithvi was trying very hard not to talk loud. She was trying to contain herself, not to laugh much. Yeah, so I mean, great to hear your words.
Thank you.
And great, you are involved. I mean, you are the starting point, and you are going to build this pyramid in Delhi NCR area. So yeah, congratulations. Great.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So we are also going to build a mega pyramid in Dallas area. So we have named it as Omega Pyramid. So it is means so people, young people like you. So we so yeah, you I mean so think about it and give your thought, put your thoughts to this kind of projects. So including because you are leading the PIMA international wing, so it will be great. You means if you can make trips to US and other countries,
Yes, sir.
and inspire people, give your wisdom, knowledge, inspire people. So that will be great. So yeah, all the best. Yeah,
Thank you.
I congratulate you for taking up that big project.
Thank you, sir.
Pyramid project.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm in the process of renewing my visa. So my co-brother has been after my head to get the visa so we can start traveling. So I think by the end of this year, I should be able to start my travels to US and Europe. So yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so I live in Dallas. This pyramid, Omega pyramid, is coming up in Dallas. So we bought the land, and so we are working on next steps. So yeah, please come to Dallas. So
Perfect, sir. I'm looking forward to it, sir, because I still remember speaking to Divya about the pyramid when she was in Delhi, and the thought, the idea, the vision behind it. I think the model that you guys are working on is very, very amazing, because one is from thinking from the spirituality perspective, other is from the sustainability perspective. I think the project is going to be really one of its kind, and I'm looking forward to, like, as I said, every introduction I write one thing: I'm a volunteer for PSSM. So when I say I'm a volunteer for PSSM, I mean I'm volunteer for you, I'm volunteer for Prithvi, I'm volunteer for anybody who's working to spread the word. So wherever you feel that I should be involved, please, like, I would really urge that you please feel free to, like, let me know. I'm more than happy to come and do my bit in whichever capacity. I mean, yeah, I'm a volunteer.
Yeah, we need people like you, all young people like you, Prithvi, Jenny, all the young people like you.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, sir. I'm there.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. The two people having the same vision of coming up with the pyramid, so that the word of PSSM, the principles of PSSM, and the meditation will be taken to the world and the mankind in the future. So thank you so much. Naman, it's a great pleasure talking to you, knowing about you, about your journey, about right from your childhood, uh, right from being a below average student, how you have picked up, got into the bits Pilani, and your yellings that you got from Patriji, and how he became a role model for you to be heading the PIMA wing in the international, and your strategies, and now coming up with the pyramid. It's fantastic to know your total journey. It was great pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for spending this time and sharing all these things with us. Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, thank you for allowing me this platform. I mean, what I've seen is all of this is just, a way to reach out to as many as possible. And earlier, I used to think, right, what is the point of going to an online class? I can be a volunteer, because I'm the type of person who was always in the backstage, making sure that people who are there on the stage get to show their abilities. But then I realized that all of this has an impression all of this is recorded anywhere, all of this is going to go to somebody, and to be able to make that one change that you could have otherwise, you won't be even aware that this is possible. I mean, this platform is a truly remarkable, I would say, a platform to bring people who want to learn about spirituality. And yeah, so thank you so much, Prithvi. And thank you everyone for patiently giving us your time on a Sunday.
Yeah, thank you so much.